On Monday, August 25, 2025, in Arizona's desert climate, a gigantic sandstorm called a HABOOB suddenly rose and covered the sky, plunging Phoenix and vast surrounding areas into darkness within seconds. The violent storms that followed uprooted trees, downed power lines, left thousands of homes without electricity, and paralyzed all flights at Phoenix Sky Harbor, one of the busiest airports in the United States. This extraordinary weather event, which began Monday afternoon and quickly swept across the center of the state, exceeded typical summer monsoon dust storms in Arizona and was remarkable for both its scale and destructive power. The giant dust cloud, meteorologically known as a HABOOB sandstorm, combined with strong southeasterly flow and crossed the valley, paralyzing numerous communities, particularly in Maricopa and Pinal counties. Images recorded by eyewitnesses with their cell phones show the dust wave that transformed day into night within minutes, sweeping over neighborhoods and obscuring all light. The National Weather Service issued successive severe thunderstorm warnings that afternoon for the areas of Mesa, Gilbert, Queen Creek, Chandler Heights, and Santan Mountain Park. Wind gusts reaching 67 miles per hour were recorded in Chandler at 5:20 p.m. Less than an hour later, gusts reaching 70 miles per hour were measured at Phoenix Sky Harbor International Airport. Meanwhile, airport management had to decide to completely suspend takeoffs and landings for aviation safety reasons. The suspension of ground operations for nearly an hour created chaos at the 11th busiest airport in the United States. Authorities urged passengers to stay safe inside the terminal, as the terminal roof was damaged by wind and water leaks were reported in passenger areas. Gilbert police announced that trees had been uprooted in many neighborhoods throughout the city. Power poles were broken, and traffic lights became unusable. Authorities urged motorists not to drive in these conditions and deemed it dangerous to take to the roads. The Arizona Department of Transportation also reported near zero visibility on Interstate 10 and Interstate 17 highways. The agency renewed its warnings to motorists. Never enter a dust storm. If you are caught in a storm, pull over in a safe location. Power outages were one of the storm's most significant impacts. According to PowerOutage.us, more than 60,000 homes and businesses statewide were without power Monday evening. Most of these outages were concentrated in Maricopa County. By Tuesday morning, more than 5,000 customers were still without power. The outages were caused by fallen trees, broken power lines, and violent winds damaging infrastructure. Pinal County did not escape the effects of this exceptional weather event. A severe thunderstorm warning was in effect in populated areas like Casa Grande, Coolidge, Maricopa, and Sweetwater. Heavy rain and lightning around Pinal Air Park disrupted aviation operations in the region. Around the same time, radar recorded violent storms in western Yuma and Imperial counties in southeastern California. Precipitation intensified around Tucson. The National Weather Service announced that 1 to 2 inches of rain had been recorded, particularly in south-central Pima County, with a risk of flash floods in rural areas. Arizona's arid soils are unable to absorb short periods of heavy rain, quickly causing road flooding in these areas. Authorities reminded rural residents to stay away from creek beds and low-lying areas. The storm that hit Metro Phoenix had effects beyond those of a typical monsoon phenomenon. Violent winds, triggered by the collapse of a thunderstorm cell, rapidly launched desert soil skyward, creating a gigantic wall of dust within minutes. This wall extended for miles, rose thousands of feet high, and completely obscured the horizon. Just as winter snowstorms obscure visibility, this sandstorm plunges desert cities into suffocating darkness in summer. One of the first questions asked by the public after Monday's extraordinary event was how often Arizona experiences such massive sandstorms and destructive monsoon-driven thunderstorms. Experts say that while such events are an integral part of nature during the state's summer monsoon, not all storms have the same intensity and impact each year. Arizona is renowned for its summer monsoon, which runs from late June to early September. Densely populated areas, like the Phoenix metropolitan area, are directly affected by these monsoon currents due to their geographical location. It is precisely during this time that gigantic sandstorms called HABOOBs form, when violent winds from collapsing thunderstorm cells launch desert soil into the air. While regions like Phoenix and Tucson experience this phenomenon several times each summer, it is much rarer to see one of the magnitude observed on Monday, strong enough to ground aircraft and leave tens of thousands of people without power. Indeed, for Arizona residents, this sandstorm is not a completely unknown concept. Over the years, many drivers have found themselves stranded on highways during such events when visibility is reduced to zero. This is why the state government has organized continuous campaigns to remind drivers to pull aside and stay alive, as the main risk during a sandstorm lies in traffic accidents. A loss of visibility for just a few seconds can lead to chain reaction accidents and fatal consequences. Additionally, damage to electrical infrastructure, fallen trees blocking roads, and disruption of airport operations are among the secondary effects that paralyze daily life in major cities. We wish a speedy recovery to all citizens affected by the sandstorm in Phoenix and surrounding areas. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel to follow natural disasters around the world and get the latest information on each region. We provide you with reliable and accurate information at all times.